Hello, today's the 31st of October 2025. This is quite a spontaneous video that I'm making right now because yesterday was quite a weird day for me. Like, many catastrophic kind of memories and thoughts came up, and I kind of had a bit of like an anxiety attack during the night, like not the night that just passed but the one before. And then I had a breakdown yesterday as well, so it was kind of a lot yesterday. Very weird day, like a day that I would have had a lot in the past but not really anymore nowadays. And I'm doing a lot better now already and stuff, so I'm okay, but I definitely want to talk about that because it's very interesting and obviously not nice when you're experiencing those moments and days like that, but I think it's really important to learn from it because there's always something to learn, and it always happens for a reason and it doesn't just come out of nowhere. Like, it's always based on the way you're thinking about something, and that creates your experience then and how you feel about something. So it began when I basically woke up in kind of a shock during that night because I heard my parents arguing, which is not unusual. Whenever they argue, it's usually at night. And usually it's something that it gets solved pretty quickly then, even though it's like a massive argument where they're like screaming at each other, but then the next day they're like best buddies again. So I have decided that they're in an unhealthy relationship, which, yeah, I mean, obviously not fully, not 100%, but definitely parts of their relationship is very unhealthy and not good. I mean, some arguments of course are normal and so on, but I just noticed by observing them and how they speak to each other sometimes and act and blah blah blah, a lot of it is very unhealthy. And that night I think I was just so pissed off that they're fighting again, and that like the whole house could hear it, and all my sister, we all heard it, and it's just like once again, like, oh my god, it's like kind of, a weekly thing, I would say, almost. Yeah, I don't know, I woke up and I was kind of like shocked because I just heard loud voices, and then which is weird because I usually don't do that anymore, but in the past when something like that would have happened, I would have like listened really closely to see, is there any danger, is something gonna happen, do I need to be careful, do I need to do something about this? Like, I would have listened for some danger. And usually now I put in my earplugs so I don't hear it and I let them solve their own things and go back to sleep. But this time I took out my earplugs and I was listening closely, which is already the first unusual thing for me to do. I think because I had been sleeping and I woke up in a shock, I think that's why I kind of acted weirdly, and then my thoughts went crazy as well, because when you're asleep obviously you can't really think straight, and your mind is very kind of behind, so that's definitely a reason why everything that I'm gonna say happened in me, because I had been sleeping before that. Yeah, so then I just heard Dad saying, which is also unusual because usually Mom is the voice all of us always hear screaming, but this time Dad was louder, and I just heard him saying like, don't get changed, why are you getting changed? And then my mind went to like, oh, they just had sex and now they're arguing and something bad happened, maybe he did something, like, which is so not normal for my parents because they're not sexual like that. But this came from my trauma that I had experienced a couple of years ago when I was like 15, when I heard them basically, and it's a huge thing, I'm not going to go into that, but basically it was traumatizing for years then, and it added to my uncomfortable feeling, my OCD basically, and then I avoided anything that got to do with sex and sexuality, and I was terrified of that, and anytime I heard noises at night I was panicking that was them, and yeah, like, it's super afraid of all of that. I was afraid of people thinking that way about me, or me wanting something with other people, blah blah blah. So anyway, yesterday night then, that night then, I just went on to thinking like, what if this is something sexual and like gross and ooh, and I actually felt a bit sick. I was like kind of then thinking as well, am I going to throw up? And then I was kind of afraid to throw up. Then I was like, am I going to get emetophobia? And then I knew like, I don't usually think like this. I don't usually catastrophize this much anymore nowadays. So I was kind of like, what's going on? And then at some point I noticed, this is just because I'm tired and I'm not thinking clearly and so on. So I was trying to calm down. But at first, like I'd say for at least 5 minutes, I was like really going into it and really panicking about it as well. And I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Is the past happening again? Will I be afraid again? Will I not be able to wear the clothes that I want? Will I hide my body? Will I not be able to look at people? Will I always, live afraid and be paranoid and all of that? I was like, am I going to relive the past? Like, what's going on? What's happening? So I was really scared, as you can hear. And then I was kind of also catastrophizing about the fact that I was panicking a bit. And then I was like, oh my God, why am I panicking? Why am I not able to calm myself down? Why am I thinking like this? Why is this such a big thing now? What's going on? Like at some point I was just like, okay, stop. I'm going to stop. Okay, recenter myself, look at, what's really going on. Look at the true perspective. I don't know what they're fighting about. It could be anything. I don't know. I only heard one sentence. I can't be sure what they're fighting about. Secondly, I was just asleep, and so I'm not thinking clearly. My mind isn't working the same way. And third of all, it's not like the past. I am different. I handle things differently. Just because I'm panicking a bit now doesn't mean everything is lost and everything I learned is not real and not true and it's not helping. It's just a memory right now. I'm just kind of reliving a memory. It's going to be over soon. I've experienced many things like this before and I always got out of it. So I kind of I used my voice to calm myself down. I used my inner voice to calm my language and my thoughts. The other thing I told myself is because I had learned that when you're panicking like that, it means you have lost perspective. So you can't see things clearly anymore. You don't see reality anymore. So I was like, what I need to do to regain perspective is look at everything that I have recently achieved. All the great things I did to show myself I'm capable, I'm stable, I'm confident, I can do this. It's not the end of the world. It's just a moment. It won't last forever. So I was like, I'm gonna look at all my recent achievements, and then that's literally what I did, and that's how I fell asleep. I processed or looked at all the achievements of what I recently did, how confident I was, the things, when I went out, grew in social confidence and met people and was in Spain and was traveling and was driving and all of that. So I looked at all those things, but before that, like, I was obviously panicking. So in like the spaces between panicking and then using my voice to calm myself down, I then just started crying really heavily. So I was like just kind of so confused about this, and it was scary. It's a scary moment that feels like you're reliving the past, and that everything you learned and everything you built up it's just lost. And that it feels like you can't get out of that moment, you can't help yourself, and you're just gonna be this, person who feels so weak and incapable, and like her life is horrible and she just can't live on. So I cried about all of this because I was just really like confused, and I was like tired, obviously, and it was just a lot. It was really weird. But I then did fall asleep by processing my positives and my achievements. And then I slept very well throughout the rest of the night. But then when I woke up in the morning, I noticed like I was very tired, and that went on for the whole day. I was like very tired, and I was obviously not feeling the best. But at the same time, I didn't really beat myself up for what happened that night, and I didn't really make myself feel even more scared. I wasn't like, oh my god, what the hell happened? What if that happens more? No, because I knew it was just a moment. I knew I was tired, so I couldn't think clearly. I know that, you know, memories and thoughts like that, they can feel really real. And in that moment, you believe they are real, but it's not. And I've made it out of so many moments before and so on. So like I had that perspective, but at the same time I was like, that was really weird, and obviously it was kind of scary. It was like kind of weird, you know. I was meeting with the dog I'm going to dog sit soon, and the owner. For the first time I was going to meet up with them and discuss everything. So I was there for about almost 2 hours, I would say, or something. And it was honestly really nice. And before that I was like a tiny bit nervous, and I knew like that's just because this is something new, and also because of what happened during the night, and I'm not feeling the most stable today. But I knew like I'll be fine. I knew that. And I knew like I've grown in confidence so much. So I'm confident and I'm able to make conversation, and that's the way it was. Like the whole time I was there, it was very easy, and yeah, I had a nice time as well, for sure. But at the same time, I also wasn't feeling great, you know, and kind of had not very helpful thoughts in between as well. Kind of like, what am I doing with my life? Like, why am I starting a dog sitting job when that's not gonna bring me to my end goal? Yeah, later on in the day, I realized I'm doing this job so I can earn some money now, but I'm still working on my own things to reach my end goal. Obviously, dog sitting is not my end goal, but for now it's nice because I have the time, and it's nice to earn some money, and I love being with animals, and at the same time, I'm working on reaching my end goal. So I was like, it's actually, you know, it's all working out for me, and it's all actually going good, you know? But yeah, I couldn't really see that in that moment. But yeah, at the same time, I was really excited, as well as kind of thinking, what am I doing with my life? Then I got home and I was quite tired, and then my mom and I had like a conversation, which was supposed to be short, but it ended up being a bit longer. And so she just kind of said, yeah, as a family we need to kind of sit down as well and have a proper conversation about our future and what we kind of think we want to do, because yeah, we don't know who wants to go over to Spain early next year. You know, mom wants to start a job there. She has a job that she can start. But then, you know, we need to earn enough money if we want to stay in this house and, you know, pay the rent. Like us kids, then we need to earn some more money. Or if we move down to the land that we bought, yeah, we need to kind of discuss what we want to do. Well, it started with first talking about the insurance, because I want to get insured in our car, and for myself, because I noticed that helps me feel so much more independent and free, and it helps me feel productive and like I'm in control of something, like I can do something, I'm not like stuck at home and so on. Like it really helps me with my sense of power and control, that I can feel powerful. And also it's helpful for my parents, because then I can go shopping, you know, and I can collect Amy and Delana from work or whatever. And it's also helpful for my two sisters, because both of them want me to get insured so that we can drive to places and do things, you know, do some other activities instead of just being stuck at home or relying on our parents. So my whole family basically wants me to be insured. It's a plus for all of us. So I was kind of asking, because I'm not earning money at the moment, and I'm only starting this dog sitting job that it looks like it's gonna be maybe once a week or something. So I'm not earning enough money to pay the €500 insurance, which would be until next August. And I was just like, you know, I also feel like it's kind of unfair for me to pay all of it. So I was just kind of asking and talking openly with mom, and she was totally fine about like maybe they can give something towards the insurance, and maybe my sisters can also, because it's a plus for all of us. And she was like, yeah, no problem, blah blah blah. But then she went on to like saying, yeah, but yeah, but the fact that you're not earning any money right now was your choice. And I was kind of like, yeah, I know that's my choice. And like, I was thinking, is that supposed to help me in any way? Because it doesn't. Like, was she trying to say with that? And she was not speaking rudely, and she didn't mean it in any rude way, but she still then went on and was like, yeah, I think it might be good for you to get some money back in as well now, because you're 20 and like you're supposed to be on your own 2 feet now, managing everything by yourself. Like, you're supposed to be earning enough money so you can pay for everything. And she was like, yeah, of course, we're always here, and you know, this year you focused really on your own projects, and Dad and I will always be here to support you and pay for your things as long as we can, like, but right now, you know, it would be helpful if you could also pay for things. And like, when I was in Spain, I paid for all my own things. Sorry, Akela is making noises. But here in Ireland, like, it's, yeah, mainly mom and dad paying for everything. Except for if I want extra things. If I do extra things, of course I pay for that myself. So I don't know, she really went on to saying so much, like, that I should earn some more money and I should be standing on my own 2 feet at 20 years of age. And you know, it's just, it, even though it was meant in a nice way, I guess, it wasn't very helpful. And I wasn't mad at her, but at the same time, it's weird because my parents often say the one thing and then they show the other thing. So they always say, like, if you don't want to work and so on, it's okay, you can live with us. And not as in, like, if you don't want to work. It's like they do want us to work, of course, they do want us to do things, but they mean for me, personally, for example, they mean, like, I don't need to go out and work and earn money because I'm really working on my own projects with the producers in Dublin and writing and these videos and YouTube and my website, all of that. So they're supportive and they're like, you can stay at home, live with us for as long as you want. And then things like this happen where mom's like, yeah, you're 20 and you should be on your own 2 feet already. You shouldn't be relying on your parents anymore. And I don't know, there was like a lot of pressure behind her words that I didn't really take on that pressure, because I was just like, it's not helpful for me, so I'm not going to take it on. But it just reminded me of how I used to think this year, actually, in particular, and how much pressure I put on myself, thinking like, oh, I should be doing more than I'm doing, I should work, I should be earning money, I should be doing this and that. And it just really reminded me of that pressure and my own inner voice. And so, yeah, that just kind of brought me to the point of kind of breaking down and tears just bursting out of me. So, I don't know, she kept talking about that. I just teared up, and she asked me then, like, and assured me, look, I'm not trying to criticize you. I know you're putting so much effort into everything you're doing, and for as long as Dad and I can pay for stuff for you, we will, and we want to, and so on. And this doesn't just go for me, it goes for my siblings as well. And they're so generous. Like, I love that. I know other people would, you know, in my age, have to pay rent for, you know, when they're still living with their parents, or the shopping, or blah blah blah, and I always do give something towards it. But I know I'm very lucky and I'm very grateful as well. I don't take it for granted. Then I also know some people who are older than me who are still living with their parents and they don't pay anything at all either. So there's just, yeah, so there's all these different family dynamics and different circumstances that different people are in, you know, different situations. But yeah, anyway, it's not that important, like, what she said, but it's basically, it reminded me of what I thought about a lot during this year in an unhelpful way. And then I actually stopped thinking like that the past 2 months or something, but then the past few days again I was kind of thinking, like, what am I doing with my life? And it's a heavy thing to think, because that's really unhelpful. Like, what am I doing with my life? I don't know what I want to do with my life. Like, I should be at that stage, but I'm not there yet, or I want to be there even though I'm only here. Like, it's really unhelpful to think that way, and it's very pressurizing. And she was saying things in quite an unhelpful way, I think. But what I changed in the past few months was, whenever I thought that way and noticed that's really unhelpful, it's just making me feel powerless, I just stopped thinking about it. I kept myself busy then. Or I focused on the fact that I'm really working towards my end goal. And yeah, that means right now I'm not earning money with that, but that's okay. And right now I have some other job opportunities that are coming up, like this dog sitting, and I might have babysitting as well. Like, there's other things, and like, I tried to get a job in Spain and also here in Ireland. I sent out many CVs and so on, but everyone came back saying no, they don't need anyone, or some didn't come back at all. And Mom to that said, yeah, then don't give up and keep going. And I'm like, oh my God, I am going. I am putting in so much effort. So the feeling that I felt, which at some point burst out of me, which took a while though, because sometimes when I'm in my mind and I feel like I need to cry and it's about to burst out of me, it really takes a while for me to be able to start speaking. So I often try to start, but somehow it just won't come out, and it can feel quite frustrating. I used to have that so strongly in the past. Now it's better because I tell myself, look, it's fine, and I can just speak whatever, you know? So it took a while, and Mom kept asking, like, yeah, say something, like, what's going on? It's okay, I didn't mean it in a critical way. You're doing so much work, it's okay. Blah, blah, blah. But then at some point it just burst out of me, and I was like, yeah, just what I feel is like I'm putting so much effort into everything I'm doing. Like, I'm giving my all, really. I'm putting so much effort into everything, and I just feel like it's not enough because I'm not really getting where I want to go yet. Like, I'm not where I want to be yet. And obviously I am working towards it, and I know it takes time, but it can really just feel like I'm putting so much work into it, and it feels like I'm still not where I want to be. And I don't really know how to get there. Like, it's not easy, you know, and it's like, for example, this, like YouTube, I would love to help people and be out there more, be known more, but it's not that easy to get there. And I don't really know how to get there, you know? So even though I made I made a different plan now a bit, that I'm going to continue these videos, but I'm also going to post a shorts video every day. I'm going to try to post one every day from now on for as long as I want, because then I'll have like a regular, you know, rhythm, and maybe I'll be seen that way more. Maybe that works better. So I don't know, I'm putting so much effort into it, but I still feel like I'm not where I want to be. And I also feel like I don't really know what's going on, like what I should do, what I want, even though I know exactly what I want. Like, I know what I want. I want to work with the producers as well, because I want to bring out a movie about my life, and I want to help people, and I want to bring that out. But it takes so much time, without any reward yet. There's no reward yet. There's nothing I'm really getting from it, except that I love it and that it's helping me, but you know, there's not really a reward yet. So I don't know, it's difficult. And yeah, and obviously I want to do dog sitting, babysitting. I love that, but it's also not fulfilling. It's not like what I want to do with my life and with my time. So thinking like, what do I want to do with my life? Like, what's going on with my life is just a heavy thought to carry. And it's unhelpful. So I've been trying to just not think that way, because it's really unhelpful. Think in a more powerful way, like I'm getting there, I'm working towards it. I can do other things. I can like work, in other places that might not be the end goal, but can maybe bring me a bit closer to the end goal. Like in theaters, for example. I don't know, like try reaching out to people like that. Yeah, I think since I turned 20 as well, there has just been this thought of like, I'm really not in my childhood anymore. I'm not a child anymore. I'm officially an adult. No one out there is gonna see me as a kid anymore. I'm really an adult now. And I just always thought that when I turn 20, when I'm 20, I'm gonna have my life figured out. Like, I'm gonna know what I want to do. I'm gonna be on a stable path, and I'll probably have a boyfriend and like already know kind of when I want to start a family. Like, yeah, I can see a lot of that is unrealistic. But I did always think that. I was like, when I'm in my 20s, I'm gonna figure things out. You know, I'm gonna have things figured out. And I always thought, like, as soon as I'm like 25, I'll be ready to have a family and kids, and I might be married already. And 25 is literally just around the corner. It's 5 years away, and that's not very far. I know that many things can happen within 5 years, but I still kind of feel like time is running faster than I am. And that's just kind of a scary, intimidating feeling to have. And it only hit me once I turned 20. That's the first time I thought, like, where is my life headed? Like, what am I doing with my life, really? Like, time is running fast. Like, I'm really 20 now. I'm not a kid anymore. My childhood is over. That's a big thing. That's a big step. And I just realized I'm only getting older now. And so, like, my child is gonna get further and go further and further away from me. So I don't know, it's just kind of a different way of thinking about it. And I guess it's also unhelpful. So I'm trying to look at it differently, you know, and be like, there's no need to be afraid. Like, everyone's just figuring their life out, and I'm still young and I still have so many opportunities and so many things. But anyway, right now I just kind of feel Akila. I just feel kind of lost in life. Yeah, it's just a bit scary because I don't know exactly where my life is headed. And, you know, for example, a partner is nowhere near to be seen. Like, I haven't met anyone who could potentially be my partner. And I can't really imagine having kids already in 5 years. And I don't know, obviously so much can still happen. Girl, I'm sorry, Akila's making so much noise. Yeah, that's just kind of what's been going on in my mind. So that all kind of burst out yesterday, and I just cried really hard and just said all these things and was like, I feel like I'm also doing so much, like, you know, for other people as well. Like, I've been doing a lot for my sisters, like, you know, and often I just feel like it goes by unnoticed. Like in Spain, I really felt like, you know, I'm doing a lot for Alana and for us so that we can have a lovely experience. But somehow, you know, we always clashed and there was always some sort of argument, and that was just exhausting because I don't think Alana really realized how much responsibility I have there and how much it takes, you know, to go into a different country for 6 weeks with your younger sister. And, you know, with Amy anyway, like, we do a lot of things for her, and she doesn't really appreciate that. She takes it for granted a lot of the time, and that can be very hurtful. So I've been practicing driving so much with her, and she hasn't once thanked me, you know, not that I really need it and expect it, but it would just be nice. And sometimes as an older sister, it's just exhausting because it's like you're taking care of your siblings, not just as the older sister, but kind of as their second mother as well a lot of the time. And if that just goes unnoticed and they don't even see how much is being done for them, it can be very hurtful. And as an older sister, I just feel that pressure of always needing and wanting as well to take care of my younger siblings. And I don't know, it just really burst out of me, and I just said to her, like, that I just feel so much pressure, even though I don't feel that on a daily basis. But in that moment, it really just came out, and yeah, it was just a lot in that moment. And I was just very exhausted, I think, and just from all these months now, the pressure that I gave myself obviously is the worst pressure. But then, I am feeling some pressure from the outside as well, and I'm handling it fine usually, but so it can just be a lot. Even just being an older sister can be very pressurizing at times. Like, you can feel a lot of pressure by just being the older sibling, just not even needing to do anything, just being the older sibling can be very, can feel like there's a lot of pressure on you. And yeah, I think that's why it got triggered yesterday as well, because mom was asking, telling me I'm 20 and I should be earning this money and helping, with the family and so on. And my siblings weren't told that, even though Amy as well, she's 18. She earns a lot of money. She earns more than me right now. So yeah, it's always like I'm always the first one to be told things, to have to be a certain way or do a certain thing. It was really nice though to just cry about all of that and just let it all out for once. Like, just, the pressure I don't know, been feeling and giving myself. But yeah, it was nice because mom also just hugged me while I was just crying, and she hugged me for a long time, like a couple minutes, until I had fully calmed down. And it was really nice because she just supported me and she understood as well. She was like, yeah, there is a lot of pressure on you, especially as well as an older sibling. But she was like, you're the older sibling for a reason. It's because you're suitable to be the older sibling. You're the right older sibling. Like, you're the one who should be the older sibling out of the three of you. You got the right job, So yeah, it was nice. And I think after that I did feel a bit better, and I then did regain a bit of perspective and looked at it in a nicer and more helpful way, being like, look, I'm gonna try this with the shorts. I made my first short today. I'm gonna upload it tomorrow, and just gonna try that. And I'm gonna do dog sitting job and maybe babysitting as well, which I'll go into now in a second. I looked at the people around me and how much I love them, like how grateful I am for them, and I saw like I'm putting so much effort into my own project, and at some point I will reach it. At some way you have to be able to reach it. Like, there has to be a way, and there will be a way, and I won't give up. I'm gonna keep fighting for that. And even if I have to go a different route and try something else first, there's different options. And there's always the Thrive program as well, that I can become a coach. I can go through that training program to become a coach, and that would also be lovely, and that's also a possibility. And there's also like dating apps, because I don't meet a lot of people, and if I want to meet more people, I can go on to dating apps. I was always so against them, and I was always like, that's so fake and that's really bad, and you should just meet them in a natural way, so on. But like, there is people, like my best friend met his partner on a dating app, and my brother met his fiance on a dating app. So nowadays I think that's almost normal to be on a dating app. And in Ireland especially, and because I don't go out that much because I work from home and so on, it's a possibility, and I can just try it out and I can stop at any time. Obviously, going on a dating app, I always thought like, oh, now I'm gonna be that person, whatever person I thought of. And I was always like, I don't want to be that person. But now I'm like, I'm gonna be myself. If I meet people, then I meet people, and if I don't, then I don't, and I can just see how it goes. Like, why not? So yeah. yeah, and then yesterday I was just like, okay, what other options do I have? And I know that my primary school teacher, who I got in contact with a couple, like 2-3 months ago, I think, I reached out to her and I was just like, hi, do you want to meet up for a coffee? And we still haven't, but we're in a bit of contact and we do definitely want to meet up. I thought about her and I was like, she has 2 younger kids, so how cool would it be if I could babysit them? If she needed a babysitter and I could babysit my primary school teacher's kids. Like, oh my god. And she's such a lovely person, and I told her that as well when I messaged her. Like, from all the teachers I had, and I had many teachers because I lived in Australia and in Germany as well as in Ireland, so I had many teachers, and she is by far my favorite out of all of the teachers. And she always treated us so well, and she was so inspirational, like someone I wanted to be when I grew up. And oh my god, it was so lovely, and I always felt so loved by her and appreciated by her, and we just had a very nice connection. And she was still really young as well when she taught us, so I just looked at my options yesterday then, and I was like, what could I do, and how cool would it be if I could babysit her kids? So I just reached out to her and I was like, if you ever need a babysitter, keep me in mind, I would love to babysit your kids. And she immediately came back to me. She was like, oh my goodness, you could be the answer to my prayers. You would be a dream babysitter, like, you know. And anyways, she sent a long text back and my heart just filled, and I just smiled from ear to ear and was so happy about that message. I was just like, how amazing and easily things can work out, you know, when you just follow your heart, follow your desires. It's just so beautiful. And I replied and said like how amazing that is, like how it just works out, and how sweet her words were, and so on, how much they mean to me. And especially today, I just feel kind of lost in life and so on. And yeah, I just said a few sentences, and she sent me back 2 messages that I haven't looked at yet, but when they popped up on my phone, I just read a few sentences. And the sentence that really stuck out to me was like, I'm sorry you feel that way, and there can be a lot of pressure on people. She was like, but I want you to know that I am always here for you, Leona. And oh my god, I can't tell you how much I burst into tears. Like, I immediately burst into tears, and I was just sitting in my bed crying for like, I don't know, 2 minutes straight or something, just being so grateful to have these beautiful people in my life. And she's not even that close to me, but she knew me when I was 12, and we made such an impression on each other that even like 8 years later, we still have that like bond and that connection, that she, as someone who isn't even that close to me, says to me, I want you to know I'm always there for you. And how many years I wished for people to be there for me, for someone to be there when I felt so alone and I felt like I had no one. And now there's these people who aren't even that close to me saying to me that they're there for me. And I just knew she genuinely meant it, because she was that type of teacher and she's that type of person. And oh my god, how grateful I was. And I was like, it's so worth it reaching out to the people you care about in those moments where you feel down. It's like, surround yourself with people that are good for you, people that love you and are there for you. It just showed me how much that can do. How, when she texted me, how I smiled and I suddenly looked at things differently, and I just saw the potential and I saw the beauty in people and in the world again. Like, you have to surround yourself with good people, reach out to people that help you, lift you up and are good for you. I was so grateful to her, and that one sentence alone meant so incredibly much to me. I don't know if I can ever describe it in words, the feeling that I felt in that moment. It's so amazing. I haven't texted her back because, you know, I was busy this morning, but also yesterday then I was just not like ready. I was like, I need to just let this sink in, cry about it, and I want to answer her properly when I have time. So that's what I'm gonna do later today. But, oh my God. It's these people that it's worth living for. These moments that it's worth living for. It's like, and I have that power in my hands to surround myself with people that are good, to choose who I let into my life and keep close. It's so amazing. Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of it right now. I think it's pretty normal to feel kind of lost. I heard before your 20s is kind of like the figuring out part of life. And even though, like, I think my future is a lot clearer to me than a lot of other 20-year-olds. Like, I have a plan. I know where I'm going. It takes a long time and I don't really know how to get there. Like, it's not really that simple. I know where I want to go, but the route of how to get there isn't that clear. But the thing is, I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to keep going, and there's so many beautiful things in my life, and I'm going to at some point have the life that I want, but right now it's just so uncertain. And that's kind of, yeah, a weird thought. It's like, I don't really know if I'm going to get there, but I do trust, and I'm going to keep going and keep trying, and there has to be some way to get there. So we'll figure that out, and you'll figure it out. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, and until the next time, bye.